Hello, hello. Today is February 28th, 2023, and it's the end of the month. And the word of the day is service. And the card of the day is moon and reversed. Moon in the reverse. So, first of all, I'm going to talk about service and why service is so important, and also how it ties into the card of the day and how it correlates with yesterday's card as well, because I feel that these cards are there to give us information. However, if we don't do the work that's necessary to evolve, we will stay in that cycle. Meaning, the reason why I was able to pull this card today is because yesterday, once I got that reading, I was like, okay, this needs to be fixed. This needs to be fixed. This needs to be healed. And then I went in and I healed it. I did some different techniques that I have in my toolbox in order to resolve those issues, which brought me to today's card, which I will discuss in a little bit. So, service, you know, I have a different attitude about when it comes to being of service, because being of service, and I'm, of course, all I can give you is my perspective, right? That's all we have is our own perspective to give. And our own perspective is very valuable because how you view the world is different from how I view the world. And your perspective and your view of the world is equally valid as mine is. Everyone's perspective is equally valid. And there's no hierarchy between perspectives. And so back to service, before I like go off on a tangent here. So being of service, some people feel like, oh, just be of service anywhere. And I have done that. And I've done it in areas such as like a food pantry. There was like this food pantry that I was a part of years ago where this woman would go all over town in Reno and take food from like Trader Joe's and Whole Foods and Safeway and all these major chains of supermarkets of where they wanted to throw out the food. And so she had this dream in her heart to feed people. And this and she started out with nothing. It's interesting that she's coming through right now. She must want me to say this, but basically this woman had zero to start with, but she had a heart to feed people. And I remember her having this dream and this vision, and she wasn't supported. And, but she had a heart of service. She wanted to serve. She didn't have the money. She didn't have the trust. She didn't have the connections, but her heart was in service. And so, and not only that, like there wasn't like people didn't even support her. Like she had this desire, and people were like, I don't know why you like want to do this. And so, but she didn't like give up. She just stayed true to her desire to feed people, to be of service to people. That was her purpose. That was her calling while she was here. That's what she felt so passionate about. And I remember this woman manifesting a truck, manifesting a warehouse, manifesting a bigger warehouse where it had like a refrigerator in it and a warehouse. So not only did she manage this huge truck, she manifested this huge truck. She would go all over town to all these supermarkets and take all the groceries that they wanted to throw out. It was stuff that I would go to Trader Joe's and buy full price. And she would go and get these products for free and give them out to anyone who would come and line up on the days that she was open. I think it was like twice a week that she would open it. And they can go shopping in this warehouse for free. And I remember like her gathering all these groceries. And I remember like there was like a kind of like a counter, and there was like walls of like organic bread, every kind of bread. And then, I mean, first she started off without the cold stuff, but eventually she moved into the cold stuff, like the eggs, the stuff that needed to be refrigerated, the eggs, the milk, the cheese, ice cream. Like it was bananas. And so there was like a shelf for like bread. There were cakes, cookies, baked goods, if you will. And she had fruits, veggies, uh, jellies, like all the things, ketchup, mustard, condiments, all the things, milk, organic eggs, uh, just everything. It was like going into a grocery store to shop, but it was for free. To anybody who was in need, they could come, and there was shopping carts outside of this warehouse, and these people would come and line up. And I remember I was being of service at the time. I was like handing out stuff. I was behind the counter, I remember, because there was stuff that you had to go in they would say, well, I want a gallon of milk, and you'd have to go get the milk and put it in their cart. Or I would like to have those cookies or those cakes. You know, there was stuff that was out, and there was stuff that you had to actually go and get for them. And that was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun doing that because I thought I loved this woman's courage and strength and power to have such conviction to her calling and her purpose, and to actually materialize it, to manifest it. This woman ended up dying. I don't know if it was like a year or 2 years later, after she created this pantry, which is like really sad, right? It's like, I was shocked, to be honest, because what happened to her is she ended up getting cancer, and it was like the kind of cancer that like killed you instantly. Like there was not a lot of time for her to be here, but she had created this service-based free business, if you will, that didn't charge people. All they had to do was just come and have a need, and she would fill up their carts, and they could go home twice a week. There was even meat in there. Like I remember there was like meat, chicken, everything. And fill up their grocery bags and leave. I think at one point she did maybe charge like $5, if anything, for like shopping. And I remember being of service there. I would go there on Tuesday or Thursday nights. I can't remember exactly. It's been a while. And it was actually very, there were like two parts of this. Okay. So like I love being of service and sharing, But when I was looking at the products that these people were receiving, they were receiving products that I had paid for full price. And not only that, if I went to the store to purchase this stuff, it would be like hundreds of dollars. And they were getting it for like $5 or for free at times. And I thought to myself, wow, these people are doing nothing, yet they are receiving everything. Like groceries that are high end, if you will. And which kind of like makes me feel that, you know, how do I want to say this? I want to say that it's not like we have to work hard to receive, but we could just be open to receiving, because you don't necessarily have to work so hard to receive something that somebody has already had a calling for and is willing to give you. I think that's where that message wants to go, because sometimes we think we have to work so hard and and that's what I was doing. I was working my behind off to have access to the luxurious groceries that I was having. And these people could come and just get it for free or for like, a small amount of cash, which is like not even 1% of what I was paying for the product. And it was given joyfully. It was given from a heart of service. And so I guess what I want to say is I encourage you to be open to people who want to bless you, because they know they're walking in their purpose. They are living in their purpose, and it's their pleasure. It's their work of this lifetime to do what they do. Either they're going to do it for free, or maybe they're going to charge a small fee like she did. She did both. I think at first it started out free. Like I said, I can't really remember. Like, I'm not really good with dates and times and years, but I'm getting better because I'm doing these videos every day. So it's keeping me very conscious of days and, months, if you will. And so being of service in that way was fun. But what I want to say is the height, the pyramid, the top of service is being of service from your purpose, from your gifts or talents, from who you're here to be. And that is the highest place that you can give service. And I do feel like there is tiers of service, because she was giving at her highest tier of service, and I was just serving under her. Now, that wasn't my purpose, and I received the blessing, if you will, of being of service. But the next level of service for me would have been like in her position. She is like operating at her highest level of service, is what I'm trying to say. And when we are operating at our highest level of service, we are operating from our purpose. So if you actually really want to, be like average service, middle service, highest service, I want to be of the highest service. So, and it's up to you what level of service you'd like to be on. But for me, I want to be on the highest level of service, because then I'm at the highest level of alignment for my good in the world. In the highest position you can have on a spiritual level and on a physical level is service. Being of service to other people. And in order to be of service to other people, if you don't know your purpose, maybe you can go be of service and volunteer your time in areas that maybe you want to explore, or where you feel called to be of service, right? So being of service is really the reason why we are here. We're here to be in service of one another. And so once you know your purpose and you are being of service to other people, you are fulfilling your purpose in life. Also, when you're fulfilling your purpose in life through service of your gifts, talents, abilities, skills, you are in fulfillment, you are satisfied. So that brings about a satisfaction within you that money can never buy. Like money can provide you security, but it can't. That's why they say money can't buy you happiness. That is a different kind of service. Brings you happiness when you are in service through your gifts. And even as I say, money gives you security, that's still kind of wobbly. But I keep diverting from the topic today of service. But in actuality, service is where it's at. And, just to make it short, there's different levels of service. And if you don't know your purpose, you can be of service to other people, and that will bless your life. That will bless your life on the inside and outside, because basically service is like what you do unto others, you do unto yourself. And it goes back to the law of oneness. What we do unto others, we're doing unto ourselves. And what others do unto us, they're doing unto ourselves. So basically we are all in essence, we're one, but we're many facets. Like we're like a diamond. It's just one diamond, but it has this array of rainbow colors, but it's just one diamond, one light, many rays. And so today I'm going to come back to this card now. The moon in reverse. So this card is a number 18, which is 9. 9 signifies endings and beginnings, which is kind of interesting because today is February 28th and it's the end of the month. And we have a new beginning, March 1st. And I'm going to say this card is going to go into March 20th. So kind of contemplate the energy of this card and do what you need to do, or allow what needs to come up for you and resolve it and heal it. Even though I do a card every day, just keep this in the background of your mind. If, like, as I read this card, you can't think of anything in your life that is happening on that level, it might be that it's kind of underneath like the BS. Like there's BS that you got to dig, you got to move out of the way to have it come up to the surface. And so the one thing that I want to say is frenemies. So today, while I was meditating, very clearly, after I read this card, I meditated. And based on yesterday's card, what came up, I meditated. because I needed to be introspective. I needed to look within me and be honest with myself in order to see exactly what's going on. Because sometimes, we want to close our eyes because we don't want to see. We don't want to know the truth because, like, we think that we have to make these hard decisions, but in actuality, truth liberates us. And it doesn't mean like we have to change anything, not in this moment. Like, the change can come with ease, grace, and joy. And sometimes I say pleasure because I'm the type that likes for change to be from love to love. It doesn't have to, you don't have to have a like turmoil happen. The shift can be enjoyable. And there's a word that they use that when a person like is shifting stuff, it can be like traumatic. And if I remember the word, if it comes back to me, I'll say it. But what I'm trying to say is you can look at things and be honest, and it can be easy, graceful, and pleasurable. It doesn't have to be painful, and it doesn't have to create chaos in your life. It could be a smooth, easy, flowy transition to your next level, and you can be supported in all the ways that you need to be supported in order to make that shift. Be it financially, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. You get to be supported on all the levels that you need to be supported in order to evolve and be transformed and self-realize. And so frenemies, back to frenemies. So because I have to look at the truth, there was this one person that's in my life that I would get agitated and like based on ways that they weren't treating me. And what I realized is my feelings were on point. And what I want to say to you is if you have somebody in your life, it could be a family member, a friend, a significant other, someone, another person. It doesn't matter what kind of relationship it is. And there's two parts to this. That that you should be treated in a certain way, but they're not treating you that way, and you ignored it. I'm here to tell you today that your feelings are valid. And what I would call, that's called like a frenemy. You weren't willing to look at the truth, but now that you look at it, you'll see, if you're willing to look at it, you'll see how this person wasn't providing you what you needed in a healthy exchange when it comes to relationships. And maybe this person is in your life consistently, or they're in and out of your life. And this person doesn't have positive intentions for you. And at first, I wanted to be in denial because I like this person. But I trust and love my own guidance even more. But where I want to take this is part of the growth here is not only receiving information, is taking responsibility for our part in creating this dynamic, this rift in the relationship. Because since we are one, we have a part in this. So it's an opportunity to like fix that, to clean that relationship up. Doesn't mean you have to get rid of them. And it doesn't mean you don't talk to them anymore. It means you clean your side of the street. You keep your side of the street clean. I'm not responsible for other people, but I am responsible for my own part in the interaction, because it takes two to tango. And if I want to have this gorgeous tango dance, I've got to be clean about how I'm dancing with this other person. And so I basically, once I saw this, I haven't processed all of it, but I did some healing on, and I did some looking, and I'm still not processing. And that's why I processed all of it. That's why I said till March 20th is to have this clarity. You have time, but I encourage you to be introspective. You might clean it up faster. Plus, there's other cards from now till March 20th. So there's a lot of work to be done if you choose to. Or else this pattern will continue to happen in your life and you won't clean it up. And since I'm leading this boat, I have to do the work, and I'm going to pull cards that you can either kind of keep up, and there's no judgment. Like, it's like you have to go at your own pace. I want to say that too. However, if you are honest with yourself and do your part, you're going to evolve way faster than anyone else that's not doing this work. And what happens is when you clean up your side of the street, you will attract relationships in your life that actually match that mirror that you hold for yourself, because you're not coming from a place of lack, if you will, or judgment or jealousy or apathy. And, whatever it is, like everybody has a different dynamic, whatever they're dealing with, right? Like let's say if you feel this anger, you're not attracting like this angry friendship. And so, and you will go to the next level and you'll start attract, like that person may or may not remain in your life, but that's not really what's important, because you are on a journey of evolving yourself and bettering your life, both on the spiritual and the material, the physical. And so what will happen is, as you evolve, these people, they'll shift energetically first, because like they can't approach you in the same way. And also you'll be attracting a different caliber kind of person to continue on your journey of evolution. So I would say be introspective about those two things that I just talked about. And don't ignore your hunches, your intuition, and trust your knowing. And do your part, clean your part of the street up, and you'll see the shift 100%. That's like 100% guaranteed. Also, this card is saying that there's areas of your life that you are facing head on. So good job. And the path, like all that negativity is subsiding. It is subsiding because you are actually looking it straight in the eye, and you're not avoiding the truth anymore. And because of that, the road is becoming clearer. Your road is becoming illuminated. So, however, there's still parts, and I'm getting really hot here. There's still parts that that you still have questions about. There's still things that you have questions and that you need answers around. And there's more clarity to be had. And so, in there being more clarity to be had, go ahead and ask your questions that you need to ask. Only you know what those questions are that you need to ask, that you have concerns around. And it could be like anything. It could be like, you're trying to manifest something and you have questions around it, but you haven't really just taken the time to be introspective and contemplate what it is that you want, to manifest. Because sometimes we could just get busy in life and just, you're like, oh, I'll manifest that later. Like, it's not important right now. Like, I'm working on other things. And what this card is saying is, take the time to get clear about what you want. Take the time to get clear about what you want and ask the questions that you need to ask in order to have more clarity. Also, this card is saying your guides, your spirit guides, your angelic team are communicating with you, but you're not understanding what they are saying. So you're missing out on the information that they're wanting to bring through. So what I did is I did a little healing on, because like, not only is this card for you, it's also for me. And I was like, okay, so my angelic team is wanting to communicate things to me. And I knew something was off, but this card validated it. And so I did, a healing session on myself to be open and receptive more to the spirit realm, if you will. Because basically we can get information in our dreams. So like, basically, if you have dreams, a good idea would be to have a dream journal next to your bed, or however it works for you, but you need to start journaling your dreams so you can integrate that into your journey, because it's information that's specifically for you and for you how to move through your life. And so my dreams would be completely different than yours. And so I can't use my dreams to tell you what your life how you need to navigate through your life. And so I would encourage you, if that's how you receive your information through your dreams, how you connect with the angelic realm or the spiritual realm, is to start writing down your dreams. Start writing down your dreams and keep a dream journal. If you receive information in a different way, then that's your way. It doesn't have to look like anybody else's. It just has to look like yours, and it has to work for you. That's really important to know how the spirit realm connects, how you connect to the spirit realm and how it connects to you, and how you receive information, and to be able to have access to that information. It's kind of like a roadmap. It's a GPS to lead you and guide you in your daily affairs. That's how the universe is being of service to you. And by the way, the only thing the universe, God, angels, whatever you want to call it, the only thing, the only language it actually knows is being of service to you. That's why service is like, it's up there with appreciation, because that's what the universe is always doing all day, all night, appreciating you, being of service to you. But you and I have to be able to know how to read the code, if you will. And everybody has to learn how to read their code on their own. It's like, I can show you how I read my codes. I can give you kind of like like a skeleton of a way to read the codes, but how you're going to read them is going to match you. And that's where individuality comes out. And that's why we're all so beautifully unique and so important to one another, because we also we're like puzzle pieces to one another. We're in service to one another that make up the whole picture. So I think I could go on and on and on about this, but I think that's long enough for today. And it's been snowing in Reno. It's been a blizzard, and it's been snowing all day. And that's why I had my hat on and my jacket on, and it's still snowing. The roads are covered. I don't feel like I can go outside, but I hope it's prettier where you're at. Like for me, pretty is sunny. So I hope it's sunny, or I hope wherever you're at in the world, the weather is exactly the way you want it. And I look forward to catching up with you tomorrow, March 1st, a new month, new beginnings. Have a great evening and see you tomorrow. Bye.